While the moderators did not fact-check during the vice presidential debate, the CBS News Confirmed team investigated the claims made by both Senator Vance and Governor Walz last night. Here with me now with some of those findings is executive editor of CBS News Confirmed, Rhona Tarrant. Thanks for joining us. We could probably, I don't know, there's a lot of things we could tick through. We're just going to go through, I think, three things. I want to start off with a comment from Vance that covers both the economy and immigration. He claimed that high housing costs were being driven by migrants. Let's play a clip.
You have got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes.
All right, Rhona, what'd you find?
So research shows that a rise in immigration does lead to an increase in demand for housing. That is true. Right. However, the research also shows it's only one factor. The bigger driver of housing demand is actually a shortage. So the estimations are anywhere between 1.5 million to 7 million shortage of housing. And the reason for that is after the Great Recession from 2008 to 2018, there were far fewer homes built in that decade than any other decade since 1960. So it's one factor, but it really is not everything.
Right.
And then Walz also brought up, obviously, immigration as well. And he said that, you know, in the last month, border crossings at the southern border were lower than when Trump left office. That is true, but of course, you have to remember that is down from record highs.
Good point, too. Okay, speaking of Walz, Walz spoke about Project 2025, which has been described as a blueprint for the next conservative president, as put together by the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank. We're going to play some sound.
Their Project 2025 is going to have a registry of pregnancies. It's going to make it more difficult, if not impossible, to get contraception and limit access, if not eliminate access to infertility treatments.
Okay, so I think a lot of people probably haven't actually read Project 2025, and we should point out that Donald Trump has said over and over again that he doesn't know anything about it. He's not, you know, he hasn't read it. He doesn't know anything about it. That being said, what about what Walz said about what's in this?
So Project 2025 does not call for a registry of pregnancies. What it does call for is mandatory reporting about abortions. So right now the CDC does collect some data. It's voluntary. The reporting is voluntary. This calls for mandatory, particularly around abortions where there were some issues. So that is true, but it is not a registry of pregnancies. In addition, there are some things in this, as Walz said, that may lead to difficulties getting contraception. That is around immoral exemption to contraception for certain people under the ACA, but there is not a registry of pregnancies.
Okay. When mentioning healthcare, Vance responded to claims made by Walz that Donald Trump would repeal Obamacare. Let's take a listen.
Of course, you don't have to agree with everything that President Trump has ever said or ever done. But when Obamacare was crushing under the weight of its own regulatory burden and health care costs, Donald Trump could have destroyed the program. Instead, he worked in a bipartisan way to ensure that Americans had access to affordable care.
All right. Well, what do we make of that claim? Well, this actually mischaracterizes Trump's record on Obamacare. So experts told CBS News he took several steps that actually weakened the healthcare law. In fact, he said himself in 2017, Trump did, that he was willing to let it fail to bring in something better himself. So some examples of what he did. There were cuts to advertising and registry assistance. So this actually led to a reduction in people registering. He also reduced subsidies as well to some insurers as well. So all of these actually led to a weakening of the program, experts told us. So for that reason, that was false.
Interesting. Well, there was a lot of stuff said during the debate. I'm sure you guys are working on all kinds of other things. So I appreciate the time that you gave us here this morning. Thank you, Rhona.
Thank you.